Delators, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. A very powerful message at the United Nations. We have suffered a lot as Africans. And there are people in this world that do not see the reason to which other people to be at peace. Even though we are all one human race. When we meet as one human race. Yet, other people do not want to allow others to have peace. And this is what Indonesia president is rising against. According to him, Indonesia suffered all kinds of things just like Africa. Because other people see other people to be less of humans as compared to them. And for that matter, we need to fight against this injustice. Like we are seeing another country doing to the other. That we need peace in Sudan. We need peace in Gaza. We need peace everywhere. We can only thrive when we have peace. And that's even though they are leading us. Now we, the youth, are not learning leadership from textbooks. We are learning it from them that are leading us. And whatsoever that they are doing, we are watching and learning. So if we will become better leaders, it will be the example that they have set.
We differ in race, religion, and nationality. Yet, we gather together today as one human family. We are here first and foremost as fellow human beings, each created equal, endowed with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The words of the United Nations Declaration of Independence have inspired democratic movements across continents, including the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Mexican Revolution, the Chinese Revolution, and Indonesia's own struggle and journey to freedom. It also gave birth to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations in 1948. All men are created equal was the creed that opened the way to unprecedented global prosperity and dignity. And yet, in our own era of scientific and technological triumphs, an era capable of ending hunger, poverty, and environmental ruin, we also continue to face today grave dangers, challenges, and uncertainties. Human folly, fueled by fear, racism, hatred, oppression, and apartheid, threatens our common future. My country knows this pain. For centuries, Indonesians lived under colonial domination, oppression, and slavery. We were treated less than dogs in our own homeland. We Indonesians know what it means to be denied justice and what it means to live in apartheid, to live in poverty, and to be denied equal opportunity. We also knew what solidarity can do in our struggle for independence, in our fight to overcome hunger, disease, and poverty. The United Nations stood with Indonesia and gave us vital assistance. Decisions made here based on human solidarity by the Security Council and this Assembly gave Indonesia independence, international legitimacy, opened doors, and supported our early development through the efforts of the United Nations Children's Fund, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, the World Health Organization, and many, many other United Nations institutions. And because of that, Indonesia today stands on the cusp of shared prosperity and greater equality and dignity. Madam President, Excellencies, our world today is driven by conflict, injustice, and deepening uncertainty. Every day we witness suffering, genocide, and blatant disregard for international law and human decency. In the face of these challenges, we must not give up. As the United Nations Secretary General said, we cannot give up. We cannot surrender our hopes or our ideals. We must draw closer, not drift apart. Together we must strive to achieve our hopes, our dreams. The United Nations was born from the ashes of the Second World War that claimed scores of millions of lives. It was created to secure peace, security, justice, and freedom for all. We remain committed to internationalism, to multilateralism, and to every effort that strengthens this great institution. Today, Indonesia is nearer than ever before to meeting the Sustainable Development Goals of ending extreme poverty and hunger. Because years ago, this very chamber chose to listen and uphold social and economic justice. We will never forget. And today, we must never be silent while Palestinians are denied that same justice and legitimacy in this very hall. Excellencies, Thucydides warned, the strong do what they can, the weak suffer what they must. We must reject this doctrine. The United Nations exist to reject this doctrine. We must stand for all, the strong and the weak. Might cannot be right. Right must be right. Indonesia today is one of the largest contributors to united peacekeeping forces. We believe in the United Nations. We will continue to serve where peace needs guardians, not with just words, but with boots on the ground. If and when the United Nations Security Council and this great assembly decide Indonesia is prepared to deploy 20,000 or even more of our sons and daughters to help secure peace in Gaza or elsewhere, in Ukraine, in Sudan, in Libya, everywhere when the peace needs to be enforced, peace needs to be guarded, we are ready. We will take our share of the burden, not only with our sons and daughters, we are also willing to contribute financially to support the great mission to achieve peace by the United Nations. Madam President, Excellencies, I propose to this Assembly a message of hope and optimism, grounded in action and execution. Today, we heard the speech of Madam President, the President of the United Nations General Assembly. Yes, it is true what she said. Without the International Civil Aviation Organization, will we be here today? Will we sit in this great hall? Without the United Nations, we cannot be safe. No country can feel secure. We need the United Nations, and Indonesia will continue to support the United Nations, even though we still struggle, but we know the world needs a strong United Nations. The world's population is growing. Our planet is under strain. Food, energy, and water insecurity haunt many nations. We choose to answer these challenges directly at home and to help abroad wherever we can. This year, Indonesia recorded the highest rice production and grain reserves in our history. We are now self-sufficient in rice, and we are starting now to export rice to other nations in need, including providing rice for Palestine. We are building resilient food supply chains, strengthening farmer productivity, investing in climate-smart agriculture to ensure food security for our children and for the children of the world. We are confident in a few years' time, Indonesia will be the granary of the world. As the world's largest island state, we testify before you that we are already experiencing the direct consequences of climate change, particularly the threat of rising sea levels. The sea level on the north coast of our capital city is increasing by 5 centimeters every year. Can you imagine in 10 years? Can you imagine in 20 years? For this, we are forced to build a giant seawall, 480 kilometers in length. It will take us maybe 20 years, but we have no choice. We have to start now. Therefore, we choose to confront climate change not by slogans, but by immediate steps. We are committed to meeting our 2015 Paris Agreement obligations. We aim to achieve net zero emission by 2060, and we are very confident we can achieve net zero emission much earlier. We aim to reforest more than 12 million hectares of degraded forest, to reduce forest degradation, to empower local communities with quality green jobs for the future. Indonesia is shifting decisively from fossil fuel-based development towards renewable-based development. From next year, most of our additional power generation capacity will come from renewables. Our goal is clear: to lift all of our citizens out of poverty and make Indonesia a hub for solutions to food, energy, and water security. Madam President, Excellencies, we live in a time when hatred and violence can seem to be the loudest voices. But beneath this loud noise lies a quieter truth, that every person longs to be safe, to be respected, to be loved, and to leave a better world to their children. Our children are watching. They are learning leadership not from textbook, but from our choices. Today, still, a catastrophic situation in Gaza is unfolding before our eyes. At this very moment, the innocent are crying for help, are crying to be saved. Who will save them? Who will save the innocent? Who will save the old and women? Millions are facing danger at this very moment. As we sit here, they are facing trauma. They are facing irreparable damage to their bodies. They are dying of starvation. Can we remain silent? Will there be no answer to their screams? Will we teach them that the human family can rise to the challenge?
We've seen a lot of revolutions all over the world for freedom. Currently, we are seeing one in Africa because we all deserve to be free and we deserve to live equally, just as others who claim they are more human than the others. And that Indonesia is rising, taking food sovereignty into its own hands. That Indonesia is ready to contribute to the peace of this world. And that the United Nations must act as an organization. The United Nations must treat everybody equally. We should not have people that are above everything, because the United Nations was created for all humans. So for that matter, they need this organization to treat everybody equally. And this is what we are all calling for. Equal treatment, because we are all one. Like he said, they are gathered there as one human race. So why then do we see other people to be more of importance to the others? The world can only become a better place when we learn to respect ourselves and accept our differences. People must not impose who they are on others and force other people to accept them and to continue to be slaves, because this is a world that we all are free to live in, and that is why we are all found in different places. So we all can't be one people, accepting other people, oppression, subjecting others to all manner of things. That this must end, and we all have to contribute to end all this injustice that is happening in the world. Because when it comes to other people, we've seen that UN is only providing lip services. But when it comes to others, this organization is quick in taking actions. And that is why everybody is calling this organization to rise up, to end all things that we are seeing in this part of the world. Look at what is happening in Congo, what is happening in Sudan. We have UN officials, yet we are not seeing peace. Why so? The resources of other countries belong to the people and not others. And Africa, we need to rise up. Indonesia was once in our shoes, but how did Indonesia rise up? Becoming full sovereign. Will we continue to be less of humans to others? Will we continue to accept that treatment? For other people to continue to come into the continent to be carrying the resources while we suffer? We need to rise and fight for that which is ours, because nobody will give that which we want to us. So that's the latest around the world and in Indonesia.